If you want to come up with an idea on how to potentially keep growing on YouTube and potentially get more subscribers, well, stay tuned what I have planned to share with you. Hi there, it's Brett Hornby here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel here, and I'm going to do something a little different here as I just thought of how I'm going to make list videos, and I'm going to give you ideas on how to plan for making list videos and how to create them, as this is my strategy and techniques on how I plan to make list videos in the future here, as it's definitely a popular kind of video to make on YouTube, as we like to rank things. And as a sports fan, as I mostly do on my YouTube channel, specifically as a Calgary sports fan here, there's definitely lots of things that I like to rank here, as most recently I ranked Calgary Flames jerseys, and I ranked it from my least favorite to most favorite here. But the beauty with list videos is you can list anything. I mean, if you say if you like cars and if you want to rank your favorite models of the Volkswagen Beetle, for example, in historic eras, or let's say if you're a gamer, if you like to rank Super Mario games, what are the best Super Mario games, or Legend of Zelda games, or favorite books. You know what I'm getting at here, as list videos are definitely very universal. And you can also, as a creator, you can decide on how to rank it. Certain criteria, or how long your lists are, and I also have a few people that rank movies, and based on their favorites, least favorites, certain eras there. You can also break it up in parts here if you made, let's say, a top 100 list. So I'll just going to give you my ideas and techniques. And also, let's say if you're a streamer or you have a podcast, there's one thing that I plan to do for my list videos that I think could help you if you make those videos, and how to potentially get more views and subscribers here. So obviously the first part is how to prepare a list video here, and obviously you need to think of something that you want to rank here. In my case, I did Calgary Flames jersey rankings, so you obviously make a list here. And one of the things that I like to do to make my list here is, if you likely have a YouTube account, you probably have a Google account here, and I like to make my list on, you could think of any note-taking app here, but I just use Google Docs and I put my lists on that. It's like kind of the same as a Word document, and you can make your list there. I also use Google Docs now to make my notes, because I do game recaps, or maybe if there's any stories that I want to make sure I touch on everything, I make my notes on Google Docs here. And the beauty with Google Docs here is you can make your document to put your list on, for example, save it on your Google Drive there, and it actually doesn't count against your quota if it's a Google Doc there. There's some food for thought there, but I find that's a lot better than scratching on a piece of paper here, not only just to be environmentally friendly here, but also the fact that you can have your list on your smartphone. You can think of a list on the go, you know, if you're at a coffee shop or at a bus stop there, or if you're taking a break at lunch at work, you can go on your desktop, make your Google Doc list there, and then you can have it on your phone and it's all updated here. But I'll just say find your favorite, note-taking app. So Google Docs is what I use here. I'm assuming that everyone has access to a Google account if you have a YouTube channel here. So that's the planning and preparation part there, is making the list video here. Now this is where I create it here, and there's definitely some apps that I like to use on making intros, outros, or coming into, this is the next thing on the list here. As if you can see, for example, I have a list video ranking videos playlist here, where I have my, say at the start there, my Calgary Flames jersey ranking videos, and I do plan to make more list videos in the future, and that's why I'm making this video. And it's kind of also an update to anyone who has followed along already and how I plan to execute it here. But the one app I definitely like to use, I find, is very simple, and it comes with a 7-second video intro, is Legend. It's called Legend here, and as I know, it's on Apple and Google Play there. So whatever platform you like to use there, I use Legend. I find it's much easier, and it's a 7-second intro. I use it for intros, outros, or for example when I do game recap videos here. So let's go back to my Calgary Flames jersey ranking video here. Here's that intro that I used for that video. Yeah, nice simple 7-second. And also it has an option to put a picture in there. And I made that thumbnail that I used on my Calgary Flames jersey ranking video on Canva. I definitely love that app to use for thumbnails here. And also if you look on my channel here, much of my thumbnails, usually I just have the Google auto process a thumbnail still image, and I take that and then I put graphics and text on it. I mostly use PixArt for that. So the 3 apps that you can use that I like to use for intros and putting in thumbnails is Legend for the Legend app there, and that's what you saw in that intro there. Canva, which I used for that thumbnail for my Calgary Flames jersey ranking video, and actually that thumbnail was in that Legend intro there, and PixArt for all my other thumbnails. I also use Canva on my channel banner there that you see on my channel right now as of this recording here. But another way you can use that intro is, for example, if I was doing a game recap video, I just come up with something clever or funny to say in the first 30 seconds, introducing in that I'm going to talk about the games here. And then I say, now it's time for another episode of... So that's another Legend app that I created for an intro for a game recap show that I do on my channel here. And believe it or not, one weekend I decided to upload all of those Legend intros, and I put it in this playlist here to give you an idea of many templates that you can play around with. And obviously you make the video, and then I put in a music file under there, and all my music files are actually in the YouTube audio library. And usually what I try to do, or make sure I do, is I put it in the description, songs I use in the website there, and some music files that you find in the YouTube audio library is they actually want you to put extra links in there, and I just do that as a courtesy to credit the artist and whoever provides that music there. And I can point people there if they ever ask me what song was that. So those are just some examples that I've used in some videos on how I made with Legend intro there. And I find it's much easier than Panzoid. I know that's another free one on there, but I find that was too complicated there. So that is some apps that I use and how I create my Legend intros throughout my videos. That, let's say if I was doing a game recap or a list video, and how I plan to do it more in the future there. And if you see my Calgary Flames jersey ranking there, and depending on what software you use for editing here, I still use Windows Movie Maker because it's easy and cheap there, and I put those Legend intros throughout my video there to show number whatever I have this jersey here, for example, or number whatever I put this video game, this book, this car, whatever, and then explain it here. So now the last part here is I'm going to talk about other ways you could potentially get more subscribers and views. Especially, I think some advice that I'll put out here could help if you do streaming or podcast here. So, and also how I plan to do ranking videos here. Generally, what I plan to do for ranking videos, there's likely going to be 2 videos of that same ranking. The first one's going to be the original version, where, for example, if you look back on my Calgary Flames jersey ranking there, I had a longer video because I was ranking jerseys, and obviously I want to back it up and explain why I have this jersey here and why I have this jersey there. So I figure you're going to do that way. That's how I'm going to do my ranking videos, is I give an opening, and then I explain each element in that list there. but it's going to be a much longer video there. Especially if, let's say, if you do a live stream or a podcast there. Some live streams or podcasts, they can go on for a few hours. It could come in handy to listen to a podcast if you were, at work and have it in the background there, or if you're studying here. That comes in handy for that, especially if you like to subscribe to a particular creator who makes podcasts or live streams there to have in the background there. But no one's going to want to sit on the couch, have it on for several hours, especially if the podcast said I interviewed this guest or I talked about this in this video about some drama, or let's say you were anxious to listen to this interview with someone and you're thinking, oh, this guy's funny, and you might have heard online, if it's a bigger creator, saying, yeah, he spilled the beans on this, or he was funny here, or some bloopers happened there. But it definitely won't come in handy if you have a longer video there. So what I plan to do going forward is I make an express version that I plan to do for my ranking videos. Is what I would do is I would have the same ranking that I've already did for the video itself, where I had the original ranking, but I would take out the parts that I explain it and just, I still introduced it and then give you my rankings and then I close in there. So I call that the express version, is where you can still get my rankings, but I do not explain why I have everything ranked there. And that's where I would point you to the original video if you want that version. So I figure that way you have the original version, where you have the full version that I did, and I call it the express version, where you'll still get the ranking, and I try to make it a different experience. My analogy is let's say you have food at a restaurant or have food as a takeout there. You're still having the food, but it's a different experience having it at a restaurant as opposed to, let's say, having it at home in the comforts of your own home here. And this is where I think it would help streamers and podcasts, where it could potentially give you more views and subscribers here. Because let's say you interviewed an intriguing guest and definitely spilled out some, juicy gossip, or was very funny at this moment, or everyone was laughing like hyenas. That's where I would say you have your original file, still have your original file here, but then you make a shorter version where you put the highlights, or put this part of the interview where most people will want to listen. And that way you give the express version, as I say, to someone that says, I just want to listen to that part of the interview where the guest said this, or he definitely gave a lot of great information, or, some people, they might make a complication of just them laughing, because you want to hear that person laugh what he was laughing about, or he or she there. So that definitely goes back to my express version here. So let's say if you have a live stream or a podcast where you snip out the juicy moments and make that a separate video, I think more people ultimately would watch that. And you might potentially get more subscribers from that, because you would think, man, if he interviews these kind of guests, or if this is the kind of material that he posts regularly, I would like to follow along with him more and subscribe to him more in the future. Or you can use that as a way to have your highlights or express version, where you can use that for someone to get to your channel and then eventually watch the full version, because now you're thinking, yeah, I got this list here. I'm thinking I would like to find out why you had it here. And then maybe in the future, it's like I'll listen to more of his content or watch his content more in the future here. And so far I found in personal experience that I did my original ranking video. I didn't thought of this till a couple months later, where I did my express version there. I also like to share my videos on particular groups. Like, for example, Calgary Flames. There are some Calgary Flames fan groups. I find it's definitely a lot more effective to potentially share your video on those particular groups here, because everyone in that group is interested in, let's say, Calgary Flames. Or if you have, gamers or books or whatever, I know that the big Facebook group is the Small YouTubers Boost there, and I do maybe eventually plan to share that video on there because I figured this video would cater to a wider group of audience here. And that's where I want to make this video where give an advice, for example, advice on how you would make, a ranking video. Is we all like ranking videos, and it definitely sparks debate there. Especially, let's say, if you like something a lot more that most people don't like, or if you have a couple, let's say, jerseys or players that you want to rank and everything, and yeah, these players are great and they're Hall of Famers and they're legends here, but I like this player just a little more than that one, and then you explain it, and it might be a lightning rod, just to generate interest. So that's definitely my advice and how I plan to make ranking videos in the future here. And this is also a video for anyone who is following along to know how I plan to make more videos in the future. So obviously you need to go have a plan on finding a video that you want to make on to rank. And I just use Google Docs to make my list, and it's totally up to you on how you want to present it, how you make your list, and if you want to break it up, keep generating interest, especially if you have a list of like 100 and you want to make several parts building up to number one there. And then Canva, PixArt, and Legend. I use a combination of those applications. I definitely love using Legend for those intros there because it's much easier, much quicker, and there's still oodles of templates where you can play around with and think, yes, that would look cool to use in my ranking video there. And then obviously you're going to make your ranking video as it is, but if you feel that you can make a shorter version where you can just give the list and then point people to the original video with the cards here, as I did a few times in this video here. But I also think that advice could apply to anyone who makes podcasts or live streams here, because you'll have your full video or audio file for your podcast or your live stream there, but there might have been some funny moments there that you definitely would like to share, maybe potentially embarrassing moments too, but you would definitely thinking that would make more people want to watch that, because I think longer term more people are going to watch my express version video of my Calgary Flames jersey rankings here, because it's a much shorter video and you get the ranking there right away. But I do say in that video I have the original version where I explain everything. So this is just my first attempt at making some kind of advice video that I think could help all you guys out here to make ranking videos, and this is how I plan to do it here. So I figure, why don't I share it out to you guys that could help you out, and maybe hopefully I gave you some ideas on how you can make those videos. And I figured some advice that I say here could help if you make podcasts or live streams here, as some of the bigger channels that do podcasts actually break up their videos eventually and make highlights for, and I think that would get more subscribers to watch it because you get the information right away, and might get someone who can subscribe to see more of your future content here. So as I say, if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey, I mostly do Calgary sports and sports content here, and that's where these list videos will come into play there. But I also do personal vlogs and attempt at comedy. That's what I also do on my channel here. But I figure I want to do some few how-to videos and some advice videos here and there, and I'll make a separate playlist for that. That could, I figure would help me as a content creator, aspire to be one, where I like to get my videos out there. And I think some of these strategies and techniques long term will help me grow, and I think it would help you grow as well, especially if you make lots of live streams, ranking videos and that, because we all like lists and we like to debate lists here. And definitely as a sports fan, for me, there's definitely lots of things that I'm going to rank in the future. Let's say jerseys, players, coaches, events, and I figure I'll be doing it the way I'm going to do it. I'll have my original video, and then I'll have my express video where I'll give the list right away without the explanations there. And then if I say, well, you need to see the full video or explain everything there, and also First vlogs attempt to comedy. I also share my experiences, let's say, on the road or at a sporting event here. So there's definitely lots of kind of content that I create other than Calgary sports and sports in general on my channel here. So make sure you hit like, subscribe. I also have my other social media links down in the description below here. So I just want to say thanks for watching, and hopefully some of the things that I shared with you could help you in your YouTube journey. I think in the long term it would help me in my YouTube journey here. So the feeling is mutual, and you're welcome, and hopefully you enjoy this video, and if you check out my channel, some other videos that you might want to enjoy, and I definitely appreciate the support and subscribes and comments going forward here. So as I say, I'll see you in the next video here.